Girl, do 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 do. You'll be a woman soon. Dun, 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 dun. I love you so much I can't count all the ways I've done for you, girl, and that's all I can say. He's not your kind. Dun, dun, dun. They never get tired of putting me down, and I never know when I come around what I'm gonna find. Don't let them make up your mind. Don't you know, girl, do 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 do, you'll be a woman soon. Please come take my hand, girl, do 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 do, you'll be a woman soon. And then it goes, soon you'll need a man. That's it. Urge Overkill, 1994, and it was a song from Pulp Fiction. Mm-hmm. Don't you remember that scene?
No.
The scene just before, is it Maya or Maya? The chick that Marcellus Wallace is going out with, she ODs.
Yes.
Just before that point, she puts the tape recorder on.
Yes.
And she's listening to that song and she's dancing around, and then she sees Vincent's pocket.
Yeah.
She finds his special treats.
Yeah, that the guy says is not a madman. What was it? You remember when he sees the junkie and the girlfriend that ODs and he puts the adrenaline
in
the...
yeah.
So before all of that, he goes to Marcellus Wallace's girlfriend's house. I think it's Mia is the name. It's been a long time since I've seen Pulp Fiction. And he's given Vincent the job to take her out for the night because he's gone away.
Yeah.
And he goes to the house, he takes his jacket off, and she finds the dope. Or the whatever it is. I think
and she thinks it's
heroin, I think.
Yeah,
it's heroin, but I think
she thinks it's cocaine.
Yeah,
so
she thinks it's coke, and she snorts it and she ODs. But just before she does that, she goes, make yourself a drink and I'll be back in a shake of a lamb's tail, right? And then she flicks the tape record, a really cool tape machine on, and it plays that song, Urge Overkill.
Did
you see the link? And that was on the official soundtrack as well. Because Pulp Fiction came out with a really cool soundtrack. Yeah. Because it was actually like a really good soundtrack for a movie. And I remember you could buy, back in the day, you could buy it on CD and cassette.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Yeah, so I played that soundtrack to the children not too long ago, and there's one little snippet where it's, I'll kill every motherfucking last one of yous.
I love you, honey bunny. At the start, he goes, I love you, honey bunny. And then right at the end where he goes...
it's not a motorcycle.
Right, because I love that movie so much, when it comes back to the full circle of when they're sitting down in the cafe again... You've had a chair accident.
I don't know what happened, but my chair just went...
The rod that goes through to stop it from swinging backwards has popped out.
Oh, I see.
This fucking budget now.
Feel free to bring the mic.
This is why we're going to make this a short podcast.
Get yourself comfortable and move the mic forward.
That's right.
Yeah,
there we go.
So right at the end, right, where Vincent and Samuel L. Jackson, Jules, known as Jules in the movie, they go back to the cafe, and it's at the start, really, of the movie.
Yeah.
Where the guy, Tim Roth, his character, can't remember the name actually, it's so long since I've seen it, and the chick stand up and go, every one of you last motherfuckers, or whatever it is, and then it's like the scene in the cafe.
Yeah.
Right? And then Jules goes,
where's my bad motherfucker?
Yes, where's my bad motherfucker? The wallet?
Yeah.
But that movie...
That's where he's on a self-improvement plan.
That's right. He goes,
ordinarily, I would have popped a cap.
do you know the Bible? There's a passage I used to memorize before I smoked the motherfucker. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides of the tyranny of equal man or evil man. You know, I know a friend of mine used to quote that word for word. He knew it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I've seen it, but yeah, that passage where he goes, you know, he says, I used to smoke a motherfucker before after I said that, and it meant your ass.
Yeah.
That's what it meant your ass. Let me introduce this bullshit. This is Invert the Y, Captain's Log, Stardate Log, episode number 12.1.5.9. I'm joined again by Jason Relaxation, and she's come back because she's awesome, Sassy Suhini.
Hello.
Because we got unfinished.
She's a regular now. She's just part of the furniture.
No, because
Part
we
of
got
the family.
unfinished business.
We do.
The list keeps getting fucking longer
I know.
and longer.
I know, but we've got a
And
list
longer.
now. We've got to stick to it.
Which one do we have to
It's
talk
the sharing of
This one?
grievances.
This one.
Oh.
This one. This
about? It
one.
is a sharing of grievances.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
We're Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah.
I almost sung another song, actually, but I knew you wouldn't know it. But I
Okay.
reckon it's fucking cool, so I'm going to sing it anyway.
God
No,
help
because
us.
it's pertinent to this, you fuck. This is a very emotional...
This will be an emotional podcast.
I'm going to probably cry in this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm going to be fucking up front with you because this podcast is about cats. It's about that's the topic of the show. It's about pets.
Specifically cat.
Okay, I'm going to fucking tear up. But this is a fucking cool song, right? That I was going to go with, but I couldn't remember.
Is it the Top Cat theme track? Hey,
No.
Geeky.
No, this is cool. I can't sing it properly, but this was from Porno from Pyros, right back in the day, from 1998. The band Porno from Pyros.
No, don't know.
Lead singer Perry Farrell from Jane's Addiction made his own band up when they broke up.
Yeah.
And they were called Porno for Pyros. This
This was
cool.
a band where he was allowed to do as much cocaine as he
Oh
was.
mate,
Oh,
this
right.
is drug. Fucking listen to this shit. This is drug fueled. It goes, children are innocent, teenagers are fucked up in the head, and elderlies are like children. Will there be another race to come along and take over us? Maybe Martians could do better than we've done. And it goes like this. We'll make great pets. We'll make great pets. We'll make great pets. We make great pets. And then it goes like this. My friend says we're like the dinosaurs, only we're doing ourselves in much faster than they ever did.
For those of you that cannot
We'll make
see,
great pets.
Suhini's
We'll make
face
great
is
pets.
completely just a
We
state
make
of
great
shock.
pets.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
There's a reason why Dave Navarro wasn't a part of that musical ensemble.
No, he left by then, and they formed their own.
He didn't want to put his name attached
Mate,
to
I'll
that
tell you
song.
now. Check that. It's on Google. I'm not Google. Spotify. Porno for Pyros. Fucking awesome. That was from 1998. Pets.
They
it's
never
called.
did
Right.
because I know Jane's Addiction did one last tour where they hated each other.
Yeah.
2010
2010 that was.
haven't
that was
heard
Soundwave.
fuck all from any of them after that.
No, I think they've gone back into their little watering holes of drug fuel.
Drug fuel.
Well,
Okay.
usually Dave Navarro puts his face on anything he can get his airtime on.
No, he's been doing that shit. What is it? That
He's always on TV.
yeah, that judge show where they're looking for a new rock star for other.
Oh,
bands.
no. He also did the
yes.
tattoo one.
Yeah, that was it.
yeah.
What was it called? Inked.
Inked.
Inked
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a judge on that.
Is he?
Yeah. He takes people to get their tattoos.
Yeah.
And they come on the show and
Yeah.
they judge. Not just him. There's actual tattoo artists.
Yeah.
He's the host of the show. Sorry. And then they take people that have got major tats on them,
Yeah.
and then they get judged by proper tattoo artists.
Ah.
And he
about how good they are.
Yeah, and mate, Dave Navarro's fucking covered in tats.
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I think. That's all he's doing. I don't think he's been.
He does that in Hollywood parties where things go very, very south.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
All right.
That's right. Speaking of Hollywood,
Hollywood.
what was on that list again? That's right. Speaking of Hollywood, I'll start off with this one.
Okay.
Last time you were here, or one of the times that you were here, you
Yeah.
asked me,
Yeah.
I'm going to have a major fucking problem with you if
Yeah.
you see Black Panther and you don't like it.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay. I'm holding on.
Okay.
I'm
so
really scared.
Do you want my opinion of Black Panther or what?
Okay. Sure. Go. Hit me.
I actually like it.
Yes.
Dun, dun,
yes.
dun.
Yes. I freaking love
Yeah.
Black Panther. Black
Okay,
Panther is my favorite Marvel film.
But I'm going to put some little caveats out there.
Okay, go on.
Right,
Go
that
on.
was-
Look, I can
well,
handle it now that I know that you
it's-
generally like
it's
it.
not that these are bad things. It's just that I was disappointed that they happened. It was Andy Serkis in that, wasn't it? He played the
Yes.
South African bounty hunter.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed they finished him off as early as they did.
Yeah, I thought he would play a much bigger
'cause
part.
he was so cool in that.
He was.
You know,
he really
I could-
was.
he was going-
that scene at the end where he's like, oh, Cubby, if you don't tell anyone, I'll let you go.
Yeah. It was awesome, man.
It was amazing.
I just want him to go around going, now is a good time for a bit of a braai, eh?
Yeah. He got the accent real good.
I've got the Black Panther. I shot him in the head like elephant.
There's something that I'd love
So
to say
there's
that
now,
I'd probably. What was it?
now
Lethal
a-
weapon?
Well, don't go down and
Been
be
a smart
gaffer.
gaffer.
Yeah.
Mate,
You're not supposed to
It
say
was-
that.
I've been to South Africa.
Yeah.
Right, and it's an awesome place, and
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. Me and a certain Englishman with a Cockney accent, we travelled around there when the World Cup was on, the Football World
Right,
Cup
with
2010.
the freaking vuvuzelas.
The Vuvuzela, I got one at home.
Oh, God, never
I've
let,
got
it,
a
let
Vuv-
it see the light of day.
Yeah, I've actually
He's got it on the wall.
I got it on the wall hanging up. A Vuvuzela.
For use in emergency
I want
only.
to see this afternoon.
Yeah, okay, when you drop me back
Yeah,
home,
yeah.
I'll show you.
Yeah.
I actually got it, and it's got South Africa on
Yeah, it's got the
side of
South
it.
African
Nice.
flag.
I got
Okay.
it from one of the games.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting place, South Africa. I mean, I'm going to butcher the accent really badly, but...
Oh, no, you
I
did that one pretty well.
I remember when we went there, we stayed... I can't remember the exact place. I don't know if it was Durban,
Yeah.
but one of the places we stayed in was a bed and breakfast place. And we got to know the owners. They were a husband and wife team.
Yeah.
And we didn't speak much to the husband. His name was Paul.
Yeah.
But the wife's name was Natalie.
Yeah.
And she was so chatty, right?
Yeah.
And one day, after a day or two of staying there, we built up the courage and we said to her, look, what was the deal with apartheid?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And she said, well, it was like this. One day, I went out there and I said to Paul, what is all this happening here? We used to leave the car open and we used to leave the key in the car. And then one day the car got stolen. I don't know what was happening with her. But the next day I looked across the road and the neighbors were putting up a big fence. And I said to Paul, you need to put up a fence too because they're putting up a fence. Something silly is going on here. Right?
Okay. All
This
right.
is no
I'm
bullshit.
trying
This is
to
what she
keep
said.
up.
This is what
Okay.
she said, right?
Right.
And then she said, then I looked across the road a couple of weeks later. I said to Paul, they've put barbed wire fence on this now. What is happening here? There's something strange here. And I said to Paul, you need to put barbed wire fence on your house too. Because I spoke to the neighbors and they told me that people are breaking in. There's all sorts of silly business here. Right? And then I said to her, well, we couldn't work out, me and my mate.
Yeah.
Shout out to the drunken monkey. You couldn't work out why there were no footpaths there.
Yeah.
Right? Like what we have. And she says, well, nobody walks here. Nobody walks down the street here, especially at night.
Yeah.
There's a lot of silliness here. And quite often, I know it's wrong, but I will send the help to go and get my groceries from the shopping mall because I can't put up with it here. And I went, oh, fuck, this is another world, man.
Yeah.
Like, they've got it's an awesome place, but there's some strange, it's a bit weird in a lot of ways too. But basically what she was saying was they kept building higher and higher fences because when you go there, most places here in Australia, they've got like fences that are like knee high.
Yeah.
Right?
Mainly to keep your dog in. Like, that's about it.
Mainly to keep your dog in, and
Yeah.
there's a definition as the boundary between you and the council strip,
Yeah.
right?
I think
Yeah.
the maximum is like
Which-
1.8 meters.
Which is where the footpath is. Over
Yeah.
there, mate, they're fucking 6 foot high with barbed wire fences.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's insane, right? It's everywhere. They've all got barbed wire fences and they've all got cameras. And I said to her, what was that? You know, what was it all about? She goes, it was a lot of silliness there. You know, lot of silliness there. But if you didn't have a big wall like this one, and you didn't put the camera out like this one, you were going to have many trouble. And then I said to her, well, did that affect having a bit of a braai? Which is like a barbecue. She
Yeah,
goes,
yeah.
No, we always have a braai here. You obviously know the terminology. You're a smart one, aren't you? You're a little smarty one. She used to say, you're the little smarty funny one, aren't you? Little smarty one, aren't you? And I used to say, yeah, sure, whatever. But her husband, Paul, he was a nice bloke. But on the last day we were leaving, he told us he was the biggest Smiths fan in the world. And we were like, oh, fuck, why'd you tell us this? He says, are you leaving tonight? Are you going today? I said, yeah, we're going. He goes, oh, you have to stay. I've got Smiths records in the back. We have to listen to Smiths records. I will have a bit of a braai and have a bit of a fun time listening to the Smiths. I'm like, oh,
And no one's ever said.
no.
Okay, so
Yeah.
no one has ever
And I'm
said,
like-
let's have a fun time
It's
listening to
what
the
he-
Smiths.
This guy was shattered that he found out that me and the drunken monkey were big Smiths fans, and he had no one to talk to.
Yeah.
And his wife Natalie rolls her eyes. She goes, "I don't like that type of music. I don't. He's very down."
Yeah, it's very
And she says, and,
No shit.
And she goes, and when you live here with these big brick walls and all this sort of silliness here, I don't want those sort of down type of music. But Paul, he always plays it and he plays it so loud. And I say, Paul, you need to please turn the volume down. I can't take
I love
it
that
anymore.
she has to like establish every single angle of the conversation in her own conversation.
Oh, she's a cracker. She was really cool, but she was very chatty because she said, I think, I could be wrong, but she might have said she'd been to Perth. And
huge South African population in Perth.
Yeah, she'd been to Australia. You know what my theory on that is?
What?
It's about
It's
9 hours.
It's closest. Yeah, it's
about
across
9
the
hours.
pond.
It's about 9
and
hours.
the weather's pretty similar.
Yeah, you know what? It's 9 hours and they go, fuck it. Can't be bothered going another 6 to Sydney.
Yeah, God, screw
Fuck
that.
it. They
No.
just go, fuck it. I'm done.
Let's be honest. Who would?
Who would? Yeah, no, I mean, going back to Black Panther, I absolutely loved the cinematography. I loved the music.
Yeah, it was
the
very
music
pretty.
was so good.
It was very pretty.
Pretty.
Yeah.
And I love the acting in it as well.
Yeah.
They just did a really good
Yeah,
job.
I thought it was solid. Like, I won't say it was the best MCU movie or Marvel movie that I've seen. But I do...
What is your favourite? Because that's mine. Black Panther is hands down my favourite.
Okay, man, I'm going to get shot to pieces, but I think the original Iron Man. I'm going to go all the way back to where it started.
Yep.
Maybe because it was new and it was fresh, and I think Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark was so
Isn't
good.
that evident of how
Well, he is one of the same.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? He's not acting. It's him.
It's
him.
Yeah.
Right? He's
Billionaire.
That's probably actually. I
Philanthropist.
was going to say it's actually his car that he drives around.
Yeah.
It's fucking him. But I will go back as far as that because it was probably the very first major Marvel. I know there's ones before that, but it was the first, I think, time that Marvel, or now Disney, said, this is our roadmap.
Yeah.
And they're now entering phase 4. This is as far, we're going to go all the way through the 2010s, and we've got dreams of going into the 2020s, and everybody's going to have their own movie to establish that character, and then it's going to culminate into the Avengers.
Yeah.
Right? And that would have been pretty mind-blowing, right? Because I don't know a lot about comics, but I know that enough to know that the comics did have the war between the Avengers, where there was a disagreement between Tony Stark and the other Avengers.
Captain America.
And Captain America and Tony Stark had a fundamental disagreement on where they should go.
Yeah.
I remember that because...
I did like that third Captain America. Was it the second or the third?
The Winter Soldier was great.
The Winter Soldier was a really good one.
The Winter Soldier was a really cool movie.
Yeah.
At first, I don't know why. I didn't see it originally when it first came out. I actually saw it on a plane flight.
Yeah.
And
I actually didn't see it when it came out either.
No.
For some reason, I didn't. It didn't pull me in.
No.
But then when I watched it years later, I was like, geez, I missed out on the
And
bandwagon.
shout out to Chris Evans, because I think he did a fucking great job as Captain America. He was
He
so
did a
good.
great job.
And this is the thing, they cast very well those characters, like Tony Stark for Robert Downey Jr. Perfect.
Yeah.
Chris Evans made a great Captain America.
Yeah.
And we talked about it up there. Scarlett Johansson
Yeah.
as Widow, who's going to get her own movie.
Yeah.
She should.
She's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's taken so long, because she's been so she's been rock solid in every Marvel movie she's appeared in. Why it's taken this long for her to get her own movie, I don't know.
Yeah.
More than
Maybe
worthy
because
of
she
it.
didn't play such a massive part.
role.
Yeah, I don't know.
So now that everyone knows who she
But
is, she'll get her own.
My idea was, or what the understanding I had was that before the Avengers was made, every major character would have their own standalone movie
Exactly.
to establish themselves.
But I think it probably wasn't in the game plan, because I don't think they realised how big a hit Black Widow would be.
No, she's become big.
Yeah, I think she was probably. I don't know. I'm completely speculating here, but I feel like when it started off with Tony Stark and everything else, I think Black Widow was just supposed to be a background character in the Iron Man movies and nothing more. But it just got bigger and bigger and bigger.
And that's because of Scarlett Johansson. She's just played it
What
so
a
well.
fine woman.
She's sex on legs, man. She's fucking the hottest
She's
woman.
a damn fine.
Man, everything about her. She's just so, you know what it is? Okay, I'm going to get shot, but I'll tell you what her thing is. She's so feminine, and that's what makes her so attractive, at least in my opinion.
Okay.
Right?
She's feminine who will kick the absolute living shit out
Okay,
of
so
you. Yeah.
okay, I don't know if you've seen the Terminator proposed movie.
No.
Okay.
No.
Fucking bull. Man, they've got Linda Hamilton coming back to reprise her role. Fair enough, cool.
Yeah.
But the new Terminator is Mackenzie Davis, I think her name is. She's an actress from Halt and Catch Fire. She's not a bad actress at all. Quickly Google that.
Yeah.
But she's the opposite of feminine, in my opinion, right? And to me, she's not anywhere near as attractive as Scarlett Johansson for that reason, right? I know I'm going to get pulled to pieces on this bullshit, but I don't fucking care.
Yeah, we don't have enough
right?
listeners for that to
I
happen.
don't care. I don't give a shit.
What's her name? Mackenzie Davis.
I think it's Mackenzie Davis is the name of the actress they've selected as one of the Terminators in the new Terminator movie. I can't remember the name of the movie, actually.
She's hot. What are you talking
No,
about?
she's very pretty, but what I'm saying is...
The way they've done her
The
up.
way they've done her up.
Oh,
With
okay.
the short hair. She's very lean, very muscular. But she's very pretty face, absolutely. She looked a lot prettier in *Halt and Catch Fire*. That was the name of the TV series she was in, which is actually a very good TV series.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
Do you get it? Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, they've made her look
Yeah.
really...
You understand what I'm saying now? Okay.
Yeah.
So she's a great actress.
Look, it's personal preference, I think.
They don't...
They've kind of made her look like Captain America with his tank, with his...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, with the white tank top. Now that's a fine shot.
Now, what I'm saying about Scarlett Johansson is,
Yeah.
right, she's going to be in the Black Widow, or whatever the name of the movie will be,
Yeah.
to play that role. She's very feminine, but she's also extremely effective as being a bit of being physical in terms of rough and tumble. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? She can hold her own.
She will whoop your ass.
That's right. She'll kick your ass.
Yeah.
Right. So she doesn't have to look like she's a muscle-bound warrior. She can go and cause a lot of chaos as she is, and that's great. That's why she's such a great actress.
Yeah, but in saying that, well, old
Don't
mate
get me
Mackenzie...
wrong. Mackenzie's great
That's
actress.
probably more realistic though, because I mean, look, it's like the prima ballerina thing, right? I mean, you can cry all you want about it, but if you have a prima ballerina with a large chest,
I'm not
and
saying
a
that-
big booty,
but I'm not
it ain't
saying
gonna work.
Yeah, but I'm
Like-
not saying that Scarlett Johansson is. That's what I'm saying about Scarlett Johansson. I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
You know, I'm saying Scarlett Johansson is. I wouldn't even say she's curvy. She's
she's so curvy.
not. No.
She is so curvy.
No.
Her ass is like curves, man. Like
Yeah,
she's known for a booty.
But I don't you. Well, I do now
Yeah.
because they've drilled it into my head. They've brainwashed me that curvy's plus size. Am I right or wrong on that?
No, you're wrong on that.
Okay, well I'm wrong.
Yeah.
She's very feminine. I say Scarlett Johansson is feminine, right? In a
Yeah.
good way,
Yeah.
right? And that's why she's attractive, at least in my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Mackenzie Davis is not attractive. She's
No,
very
I-
pretty.
I-
She's very pretty face.
I do get
right?
that, but I feel like Mackenzie is probably more realistic for the fact that she is the Terminator. Like, I
Probably.
mean, she's probably not going to really be as feminine as Scarlett Johansson.
Probably.
The fact that she terminates.
Sorry, the whole. Yeah, you're probably going to have to
Can you
edit this
imagine-
part. You're going to
can
have
you-
to edit this part out.
can
But
you-
like, this is a topic for off air.
No, that's fucking. Who gives a shit? no one
Oh,
listens
no,
to
I
it.
can't. I
do it.
can't. I can't.
It's just us here.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah. And the internet.
Yeah.
And the internet.
What, 3?
No.
What were you going to say?
No, it's about the curvy thing. I have strong viewpoints on that.
Oh, really?
I have a lot of strong viewpoints
Are
on
you going to
that.
get upset with me?
No, I don't know. I just... Okay. Oh,
Do it, and we'll cut it out. if we
okay.
have
This is
to.
gonna irritate
Or
a
I
lot
might
of
not.
people, right? I do not like the way... Okay, just for the people out there that don't know my physique or what I look like, I am a curvy girl for all intents and purposes, right? Definitely not a size 6 or 8. But I do not like the way this whole curvy thing is going in terms of body image and health. Because I think there has to be a line drawn on what is healthy.
What do you mean by that? Do you mean
Because, for curvy attire, okay, is for, generally speaking, I think is for like size 16.
That's
and
what I was trying to
above,
get at
right?
before,
Okay,
right?
so
That's what
I'm a size 16, size
Yeah.
14 to 16 girl. But then there comes, and size 16 and above, like the average Australian women's size is size 14 to 16, right? But then there gets a point, like I saw on like some American Cosmo magazine, where it was like about body positivity and embracing your curves and all this sort
that
of
just means
stuff.
you're fat, right?
And all I'm saying is, I'm sorry, but you are morbidly obese,
That's
and
what I'm saying.
and that is not
That's what I'm
okay.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's not okay.
No,
I am gonna get. I'm
no,
not sure.
No, you know what? I'll say, like, I am as fat as fuck.
He's a fat
and
fuck.
I completely agree with what you're saying.
Because I look at myself and I go, and I'm not trying to put myself down. I used to be a size 6'8" girl, and then I got a health condition that made me pile on the weight, etc., etc. But even I have to one day look at myself and go, it's not about, oh, you're fat or you're ugly or you're this or you're that. You don't.
You're just
fit into
not
that.
healthy
But
anymore.
you know what? There is what is healthy and what isn't. And for my height, I'm not currently at a healthy weight, and that's a hard fact that you have to kind of look at yourself and accept.
Well, neither am
It's
I.
a hard truth.
If
okay?
I looked at the BMI, it would tell me
BMI is shit, though.
Well, it's shit.
Yeah.
But it would tell me I'm morbidly obese.
Yeah.
Right.
But
you know
you
what?
don't even have to go with the BMI. You just have to be honest with yourself and go, well, is this what the human body is supposed to look like? Is this what a human heart can handle in terms of pumping blood around my body? You know, and then you've got this, and I get it. Like there is certain situations. Like I remember, it was a friend of a friend. I barely knew her, but she was an aerobics instructor. She was so freaking fit, right? And then she had major surgery. I think she had brain cancer. She survived, but because of the medication that she was on, poor girl ballooned out, became morbidly obese. And I'm not saying that it has to be that drastic, or I'm not saying that there are particular reasons. There's deep-seated psychological reasons. People have weight issues and all sorts of other issues, right? But there comes a point you've got to stop glamorizing it. You've got to stop glamorizing it and go, this is okay. Actually, no, you know what? This is not okay. It's like saying it's no different to glamorizing smoking or drinking. It's no different. I mean, yes, people do it, and people are that. I'm a smoker, and it's stupid. It's one of the stupidest decisions I've ever made. But I can't
topic.
lie to myself.
That was the topic.
That was the topic.
That was the topic.
Write it down.
No, we'll just put it on the podcast. So that next time you come back from your trip,
Yes.
because you're giving up smoking on your trip,
I
aren't you?
am.
You're going to talk us. You're going to talk to us about your trials and tribulations in smoking.
Yes, that's
That was the
right.
topic that you're going to talk to us about.
And because it's a couple special.
When you come back, it's a couple special. Oh, fucking Yadinyak doesn't know that yet.
Yeah. He will now.
You will now. Now, you know what? Listen, I totally agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah.
When I say curvy, I'm 44. So I associate things very differently from the modern younger people. When I say curvy, I mean someone like Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Right? She's not fat, but she's
she's
not
not.
anorexic.
No.
She's natural, right?
Yeah. She got tits and ass on her, and
That's-
they look great.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
right? So that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But you're right. Now people say curvy. That
The
means
whole idea
you're-
of not
no,
being
no,
able
no,
to-
that means you're plus size.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
people say curvy now, right? And that's not what I mean. I say it like someone from the 80s.
Yeah.
Right? If I say she's curvy, that means she's not
Not anorexic.
anorexic.
Yeah.
Or she's got a natural nice figure, right? But I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that people, when they say curvy now, is just potentially, not saying always,
Yeah.
potentially saying, well, she's overweight and she's glamorizing it, or she's body positive.
Yeah.
And I don't like body positive because
Well, here's the
you got to be realistic sometimes. Because
Well,
when
I
you go to
think
your
so too.
when you go to your doctor, let me tell you, when I go to my fucking doctor, and I got about 20 of the fucks.
Yeah.
When I go to my doctor, my GP,
yeah.
he'll look at me and go, mate, have you thought about losing about 5-10 kilos? I go, why, mate? Your blood pressure's a little high.
Exactly.
What's the fucker going to say? Oh, you're body positive, so it's okay.
Well,
no, he's not going to.
No, he's not going to say
No.
that. And here's the thing, and this is why I wanted to say it, because look, I've been there. I've been with the body issues, having been someone who is naturally supposed to be quite skinny. I'm telling you, you don't find a lot of fat Sri Lankan girls, okay? It's not how it rolls. So I get what it means to go through that struggle, to have that stigma, to kind of, be the bigger girl of that society per se. Not that I actually give a shit, but at one point you kind of got to look at yourself and go, well, what do I need to do about my health? Like, it's one thing for me, because I am genuinely happy with the way I am now, in terms of I don't beat myself up about it, and I don't try to make anybody else feel bad about it. And health, I'm very happily married, and my husband is completely okay.
Shout out to Yednyak.
Shout out to Yednyak, love my life. But at the end of the day, I have to look in the mirror and answer the question, am I as healthy as I can be? And the answer to that question is no.
Well, you know what? I think 90% of the human population in the first world could answer that and say they're not the best they can be either.
But they're kidding themselves
But
into
let's
thinking...
be realistic.
Yeah.
Like I could lose 5 kilos easy, right? But I got bigger fish to fucking fry. This little pricky could probably lose about 30. I'm being nasty, 20, right?
No, 30 was about right.
But everybody, most people,
Yeah.
if they're honest with themselves, unless they're an athlete or they're training for something or they're very active in
They're
something.
going to have a couple of kilos.
Exactly.
And I just want to clarify here about body positivity, right? The true meaning of body positivity is, yes, embracing different body types, because not everyone is going to be the stick figure of your supermodel, right? And a prime example of that is like, but no, some people are very skinny.
Yeah,
some people
I
are
know.
naturally very skinny.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean that they're like anorexic.
No, no.
But then embracing body positivity is going, yeah, okay, look at the Beyoncés with the thick thighs and the booty and, like, you know, she's got a bit of muscle on her, right? Like that is embracing body positivity about different sizes and understanding that you go through different phases or after you have children or whatever. But talking about morbid obesity as body positivity is not doing anything.
No, it's
You're
not.
you're basically weaponizing
No, because
it.
you know, but you know what? I'm sorry, but I come from a time when you got smacked with a dose of realism, right? And especially with the background that I've got.
Yeah.
You know what? If you got fat, you got told you got fat, and I'm not bullshitting.
Our doctor will quite openly say that.
I'm telling you now, my GP when I was a kid, right, like 15, 16, I was a fucking fat fuck. No bullshit, right? And he'd sit me down and go, "Listen, man, you need to lose some weight." I go, "Really?" He goes, "You need to lose some weight," right? And he didn't hold back. He was old school. He still is. He'd sit you down and go, "All right, man, I think you really need to watch what you're doing, watch your weight." And some people have to be realistic. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
It's so easy to put weight on. It is so easy, right?
So
You know,
easy.
fucking
But
hard
then
to get rid
again,
of.
I've got to be realistic too. Shout out to the weapon, right? I could never be his build. That guy is built...
Well, he's tall as fuck. That helps.
He works his ass off too
Yeah.
in terms of like working out nearly every day, and he eats absolutely everything to the
Super
nth degree.
clean.
Yeah.
Super
everything.
clean
Yeah.
living. But you know what? But I'm never going to...
You're never going to be that.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not, because I don't have the makeup of it. But you know what? I certainly can get a lot better than I am. So that's a realistic approach. But you can't say that to people these days. They get all fucking defensive and upset.
You're fat shaming.
You know why? Because you're fat shaming. But you know what? Everyone now, I've fucking said it so many times in this podcast, have got thin fucking skins.
Yeah.
And they need to fucking harden up.
And I
And they
think-
need to stop eating their smashed avocados, all those avocados.
Well, actually,
Maybe if they ate
avocados
more
is
smashed-
good,
yeah.
it's good
That's-
fat for you.
that's
but
good fat.
You know, the thing is,
But it
it's
makes
not
you a
about-
soft cock.
I think, and people confuse the two, where they're like, "Oh, you're such a dick."
I said it, you fucking limp dick. No,
They
but
get
I think...
confused. They get confused with, and look, I'm not saying that people. There's always, in anything that you're talking about, in any stream of thought, idea, whatever, there's always that 2 to 5% of fuckers that are going to be mean about it, misconstrue it, and fuck it up. And I'm also not saying that the media haven't done real damage to the self-esteem of girls, boys everywhere about what the ideal thing should be. But that doesn't mean that we can avoid having the real conversation of this entire planet are becoming a bunch of fatties.
Yeah.
Okay? Especially the Western
we are.
culture. Like America, Australia, UK, obesity is an epidemic.
Mate, I reckon we're worse than the UK. When I was in the UK about 5 years ago,
Yeah.
I was shocked that not always, but 9 times out of 10, most people were within a normal sort of kind of health range of body weight. Come here, oh, fuck off, man. I'm telling you, I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of fat fucks.
But you know what? It's really interesting.
But you know what? What goes around comes around, right? In the 90s or so, people were saying, you need to lose weight. You know what? You're obese. Deal with it. You need to do something about it. It's up to you now.
Yeah.
Now, oh no, let's tippy-toe around it. And while we tippy-toe around it, that person is fucking killing themselves. But it's okay because we don't want to fat shame. We're not fat shaming. We're now saying you have got a major health issue here.
Yeah.
Right? I wish the weapon was here because he'd be a little bit more articulate and a bit more blunt in the way to put it. But
No, I can tell exactly how he'd say it.
he'd say, lose some weight, you fuck. No, I don't want to try because I want to save you some editing.
Yeah.
But what the point is that, you know, there's a lot of tippy-toeing around it now, and you're right. And this is why I was sort of tippy-toeing around it myself when I said Scarlett Johansson's curvy.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people go, well, what are you saying? She's of a plus size. I go, no, she's not.
No, she's
I'd say
not.
she's got a natural body figure for a woman of her age. But you know what? I put money on it. She's spending a fucking lot of time in the gym too. I bet you
Oh,
she's got
God, yeah.
she's got personal trainers, she's got chefs, she's got all sorts of shit looking after her,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Because she's her life, her lifestyle and her career is built on that body.
Exactly.
And built on her. She's got a naturally beautiful face too, so
Yeah.
she's got everything,
Yeah.
right? But I bet you, if she sat down and had a bunch of cheeseburgers every day, she'd also have a problem.
Yeah,
So I'm
exactly.
sure she's looking
And
after her asset,
I think
you know?
it's completely unrealistic to sort of, aspire to look like that, because when you've got the time and the millions, oh my God, we could all potentially look like, to a certain
You know what?
extent,
I'll never
rock
forget.
solid.
I'll never forget. Sorry, I'll never forget. One day, I don't know what it was. I was talking to the Weapon. Shout out again to him about Zac Efron.
Oh,
All right, no. Let me tell.
wow.
Let me tell you about that guy. Right.
That transformation.
That guy is fucking cut and built and shredded like I've never seen. Right?
Ripped.
Right. Now I asked the Weapon.
Baywatch. Trash film.
Yeah, but ripped.
But ripped.
Mate, can I tell you? As a guy, I looked at him and I went, you know what?
Sorry.
As you're at your M&Ms.
Yeah.
As,
Here I go.
As a guy, I looked at his body and went, fuck me, Dad. That guy has got an amazing physique, right? You'd have to
Yeah.
be blind not to admit that.
Yeah.
And I said to the Weapon one day, who's got hardly any body fat himself, but he's not chiseled like Zac Efron. And I said to him, what would it take to be Zac Efron? Why aren't you like that? I was trying to stir him up. I go, listen here, you prick. You're going on about all of this shit. How come you don't look like Zac Efron? You know what he said? You'd be amazed at how much work that guy's putting in every day of his life just to get to that level. He's eating so many different things to get to that level. And not only that, he's probably doing 8 hours minimum in the gym every day on certain different parts of his body. That's his job.
Yeah.
Not even I've got that time.
Yeah.
This is the Weapon to do that, right? I don't have that
That's
time.
his job,
That's
exactly.
That's his fucking job,
Yeah.
right? So that's his asset. That's his asset. That's his house. That's what he's, his body.
Yeah. And to
is
get
what
that
he-
carved, let's be honest, there's probably getting a little bit of additional help there as well.
I don't know about that, man, but maybe he's got the genetics as well to support it. Like, that's the other thing too. You could be absolutely working your ass off, getting
And
all
you'll
the
never get
people
it.
around you
Yep.
that tell you what to do and when to do it. But you know what? You might not have those fast twitch muscles. You might have... I mean, I'm not the expert here, but I know enough to say that there are definitely genetic barriers to all this shit, but that's not an excuse to be 500 pounds and go, oh, you're fat shaming me. Well, no, I'm giving you a dose of reality. And this is a problem. A lot of people don't want doses of reality now.
Yeah.
This
And
is
then-
why...
And then they go, this is in light with, so, obviously being a smoker these days is, you get shamed pretty hard, and
Shame.
rightly so.
Shame.
Okay.
Shame.
I take
Shame.
it. I take it. But, and people say, oh, you're a burden on the health system, and you're burden on this, and you're burden on that.
No,
and
I'm
I'm
a
like,
burden on the health system. I fucking...
you didn't have a choice in that, though.
Dude, I maxed out the Medicare card by fucking January. Jesus Christ.
But, I mean, if we have issues with that, and we have issues with alcohol in a similar way, then it's exactly the same thing.
But you know what? I'm going to go back to it. It starts at the school. And today, everyone's told they're a winner. Today at the school, oh, you can't say that about somebody. You got to be inclusive.
Which is why,
You
as a
gotta be
parent,
this.
you need to be hard
Yeah,
like
well,
we are.
no, but this is the problem. Parents don't want to be parents anymore. I'm not saying everybody. They want teachers to be parents.
Yep.
And so teachers are not parents of children. And what happens is they go to the schools and the teachers go, oh, everyone's a winner. Everyone gets a gold star for turning up. And yeah, I know Susie's about 300 kilos, but that's all right. We should include her and she should be able to play baseball, even though she looked like she's ready to have a heart attack. And it doesn't matter that she's done about 500 shits today because she's ate about 10 fucking cheeseburgers before recess. We have to include her, right? Or him. That's how it is now.
Well,
no one wants to sit down. In my fucking family, when you got a little bit podgy, and trust me, we fucking did, the old man would say, you're getting fat, fuck off. You're not getting a new pair of jeans. Lose some weight, you fuck.
Or get
That's
off
what
the
happened,
computer,
right?
you fat
Get
fuck, and
off
mow
the
the lawn.
computer and mow the fucking grass.
Yeah.
That was the other fucking classic. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you what, my mum's got a great fucking saying. You can quote me, internet, you fucking ingrates, and you can use it. My mum's got a great saying, your pants never fucking lie. So if you try and delude yourself, right, that you haven't put on weight, your mum used to say, your pants never fucking lie. right? Because if those pants got a little bit tight or whatever it was, and your buttons were bursting at the seams, she'd go, pants never lie. And they fucking don't.
They don't.
They never fucking lie, your pants. So that's the whole thing. So if you're going out there buying, I don't know what size pants you'd be buying, and you're getting bigger pants every fucking 6 months, you got a problem. I'm just saying, right? And I'm not an expert, and I can't throw stones because I know I could lose some weight too. I absolutely 100%
exactly,
know it.
same here.
And I could be way more active, right? And I've got people like the Weapon helping me who's told me, listen, man, you need to be even more active than and what you're doing, right? And eating M&Ms are not exactly helping.
No.
But the point is, that's the reality, right? You need people to give you a dose of reality. And I agree with you when people say, oh, body positive. Yes, we should all be body positive. Me, you, her, them.
Everybody.
Everybody needs somebody to love. Everybody needs somebody to love. Someone to love.
Sugar to kiss.
Sugar to kiss.
Sugar to kiss.
I need you. I need you. In the morning, you. When my soul's on fire.
That was an amazing segue.
Sometimes I feel a little sad inside. When somebody speak to me, I never you.
That was amazing.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
I totally agree with you.
I feel like I'm going to annoy a lot of people, and a lot of people are going to try and misconstrue my words about it. But I just
you know
think
what? You throw it back in their face. I'm being body positive, you fuck. So you can't tell me what I can and can't do. Fuck off. No, fuck it. You know what I've learnt in the modern world?
Yeah.
Throw it back at pricks.
Yeah.
Fuck him. Today I'm a girl. I'm a fucking chick. That's right. I know I'm a chick because when I woke up this morning, my penis was extremely small. It must have been an oversized clitoris. I'm a fucking girl today. That's right. It's my right, you fucks. That's what I know. That's how I know. And maybe because of all the smashed avocado I'm eating, all the fucking soy in the latte I'm drinking is my estrogen's out of control. And I'm going to go home and read Mills and Boon and do cross-stitching. And you can't fucking judge me. You can't ever judge me. I can do what I want to do. You know why? Because I went to school and they gave me a gold star for fucking turning up. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Actually, I heard about...
Ask me about my fucking day coming up tomorrow. Will they give me a fucking gold star then? No, they fucking won't give me shit. Nothing.
You should ask for one.
I'm fucking going to.
Yeah,
Maybe
a jelly belly, or jelly bean, or something like that. Just
too much sugar in that. That's where you'll get a little jelly belly.
Yeah,
which is actually a Smashing Pumpkins song from Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, released in 1995. So that we've moved on. Well,
okay,
let's move on from that.
we digressed a fair bit.
We did. What was that?
That was Black Panther. Yeah,
loved it. I did. Well, I liked it. I really did like it. I think it was solid. I had no problems at all. I visually looked very pretty.
Yeah.
On my calibrated TV.
Oh yes.
It looked,
that part where they enter Wakanda for the first time. So perfect. Yeah, it was just great.
Look, I liked it. I think it had, unfortunately, the usual tropes. Someone wants to take over the throne.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was my only real problem with it. It wasn't exactly the most
original
story.
But in the end, they're all friends.
Yeah.
And in the end, they're all friends. And the bad guy initially gets the upper hand of the good guys. But in the end, the good guys take over. Don't have a problem with it. I thought Black Panther was solid. I just think it was solid. My only criticism would have been, I liked Andy Serkis so much in that movie as a South African bounty hunter. Yeah. I wanted more of him. And they unfortunately bumped him off.
Yeah.
And that kind of disappointed me a little bit. But that's it. That's my only complaint.
Makes me feel really relieved.
No. I'm not going to rant for the sake of ranting, especially when that. To me, that's a fair movie.
Yeah.
You know, if I had to score it, not that my scores mean anything, and putting numbers on things are really irrelevant.
Yeah.
I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10. You know what I mean? It was solid. It was nothing wrong with it. I certainly think it did enough to put Black Panther as a an Avenger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I kind of wished I had seen it before Infinity War.
Yeah.
Because I didn't. Yeah. I'd seen Infinity War
before you
I'd
saw
seen
Black Panther.
Yeah, and so I didn't really know the relevance of Black Panther.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. We didn't play a really big part. Anyway,
No, he wasn't.
but,
He was kind of a little bit pushed to the side a little bit on that. But then again, what do you do when you got like 20 million
exactly.
characters?
Like you can't have that much screen time for everyone, right?
No.
Like, it's just impossible.
No.
Now
Right.
there is another topic that you.
Yeah,
wanted
I'm trying to look at
discuss.
the little box we got there. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
there's another little topic that you wanted to discuss.
Yeah, okay. While we're talking about movies,
Yeah.
James Bond was announced this week as, I don't know, as Jane Bond. I don't know what you call her.
Janice Bond.
Janice Bond. So they've announced a replacement for Daniel Craig
Yes.
at some point. And
Whinging bitch that he is.
well, the next James Bond movie, is it Daniel Craig or is it the one after that? I can't remember.
I think the next one is
Daniel Craig?
Daniel Craig.
Yeah, and then after that he's gone, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he's called
And
Fuck It.
So in the future, the next James Bond is actually a female character.
Leighton Smith, apparently, is her name.
Is that her name?
Yeah, Leighton Smith.
So she's how do I put this? An of color, diverse female.
She ticks a lot of boxes.
She ticks all the boxes. That's my only complaint. That's
Yeah.
my only.
Please
complaint.
tell me at
You
least-
know what? We were talking about it upstairs, right? If they wanted,
Wait,
if they wanted to go down that path, why didn't they pick Idris Elba?
Sorry, it's not Leighton James. I don't know where I got that name from. It's Lashana Lynch.
Lashana Lynch.
Okay. And look, here's
It's good
the
to see
issue.
they've gone with
I know
some
everybody's
alliteration.
going to be like, oh, but it's great for diversity. I have, like, hello, I'm Sri Lankan. I'm never going to
You know what? You are the
Yeah.
perfect. You know what? You tick our boxes. Go fuck yourself, internet. We're at a diverse, equal employment opportunist here. We've got
Hell
a
yeah.
of colour female on our podcast. You fucks.
Better yet.
So we washed the cornbread right off.
We're so diverse. We had a half Chinese, quarter Italian, Japanese born child.
Yeah, that's right.
With a last name that means the Greek in Italian.
That's right.
Making
No.
your coffees.
It does. Yeah.
So
That's fucking true.
Oh my god, it is like the UN in
Yeah,
just
the
one
UN.
small
and
child.
that's it. And we just to say that we're against the UN, we've made him slave labor and make your coffees.
Yeah.
That's right. And if
Yeah.
he doesn't pull up his socks, he's going back to China to make sewing machines in his uncle's sewing machine factory.
He's such a good boy.
That's
No,
not-
look, I think that there. I don't know why, because it was just unnecessary. It's just for the sake of it. And look, I get that anybody can play anything. That's not the point. It's just that is James Bond. James Bond is
007.
He's 007. He's from that book.
Well, that's the book, so I mean, yeah.
and unless like you want to go completely away from the book, like then just stay true to the course
what is it?
content.
Is it a
I mean,
side character that sort of takes the lead, or how is it actually their 007?
That's their
That's
007.
their yeah.
That's their 007.
That's the replacement for Daniel Craig.
See, and look, Idris Elba is the perfect example of this isn't about, it's got to be like a, Anglo-Saxon
He
hot
would have been
male.
perfect, man.
Idris
If
Elba.
you go, look, I'll tell you what.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you what. I keep saying it.
Yeah.
I don't understand in the modern world why people get offended when they don't get their way. Just deal with it.
Yeah.
Right? Because you won't always get your way, kiddies.
What do you
know
mean?
what? Let Retro Dan tell you a little story about life. It's full of disappointment.
I was
going to
say, can we put a
right?
can we put a little soundtrack into that? Daniel's story about life.
Roll it, monkeys. You're gonna do
I
it.
have to find a sound. You know what? I might have a keep playing while you're doing your little.
That's
talk.
right. No, it's full of disappointment.
No,
it's
and
full of-
look,
but you won't get your way.
I want to interject with that point though. Here's the thing, because that point can go two ways about not getting what you want, right? Because for a long time, starting with people like Sidney Poitier, who was one of the first famous Black American actors.
Oh, he was awesome.
He was amazing.
He was in To Sue with Love.
Yeah, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
Yeah, he was
and,
great.
Yeah, he was fantastic, right? And I get it. There's because back then that's something that everybody wanted that they should have fucking got, which takes time, which takes perseverance, and it's about because it was about making sure that a character that could be played by anybody can be played by anybody, right? But in this situation. Just as how they say, I remember there was one, that's right, Ghost in the Shell is a perfect example, right? A lot of people were upset that Scarlett Johansson got that role when it should have been
But it's an
somebody
Android,
who-
so that's fine.
Pardon?
No, I didn't have
They
an
were
issue.
worried. They wanted an Asian.
Yeah, they wanted an
character.
Asian.
Whitewashing.
Look, I kind of understand, like, it's an anime. That's what people assumed it to be. Like, whatever. And if you want to stick to the course content or the book content that it's following, then stick to it. No problem, right? Yep. Okay. Well, and I'm under no illusions as to the reasons why these things happen, because there should be representation where it's due. But then on the flip side of that, well, James Bond he's a man and he's Anglo and whatever, right?
That's the character, James.
That's the character.
That was in the books. That's okay. Again,
that's in every single book.
We talked about
James Bond,
but we talked about it in a previous podcast, you and I, and Jason Relaxation, about Game of Thrones and the debacle that it became.
Yeah,
and that's because they didn't have source material to refer to.
Yeah.
But in the book, the world of James Bond, they do have a lot of source material to refer to.
Exactly.
In the books, right?
Exactly.
And so why they're turning their back on it to tick boxes is so in your face to people that really love James Bond.
Yeah.
Right? That franchise, right? And look, I would have been happy with, okay, let's, for diversity's sake or just to change it up a little bit, put in a male actor of colour. Cool. I would have been all right, fuck.
And I don't
but
think
you know
even...
what? But a very good friend of ours, an Englishman with a Cockney accent, he will be the very first to tell you that he's over it.
Yeah.
And he's of colour.
Yeah.
Right? And he'll say, I am fucking over them always trying to please everybody. And if they put in a of colour James Bond, and this is before I talked to him about the female actress that they've put in for this, he was like, I'm over it. And this is coming from me or from him. Right, I'm the one that they're trying to tick all the boxes for. I don't want it.
Yeah.
Because James Bond was always a white male.
Yeah.
Right, he was a suave motherfucker, and he'd go around and cause all sorts of chaos and solve all sorts of situations and crimes. But at the end of the day, they've gone this other route. Now, I personally don't care, because I'll be honest, I told you upstairs, I'm not a big James Bond fan. I could care less. But.
And here's a good example of when material can go either way. And they have taken it either way, and it doesn't really matter. Doctor Who is a perfect example.
Yes.
Okay? Female Doctor Who. Get over it.
Yeah.
There is no specification anywhere that says Doctor Who must be male or female. That species regenerates into whatever.
Yeah.
Stop getting your panties in a wad.
Because the source material never specified a gender.
Exactly.
That's the difference there, right?
Yes.
So if you're going to talk about that, and I remember hearing a lot of people getting annoyed about Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Right. That we've now made it a female.
Yeah.
You're right.
FYI, her character is hilarious.
I couldn't tell you. I haven't seen it. Right. But my point is that, like, if you're going to cry about that, refer back to the source material. And the source material, as far as I'm aware, didn't refer to the Doctor having a gender or being able to be restricted to a certain gender, right?
Yep.
So maybe it did, maybe it didn't, but I don't remember there
Really
being a real...
You could regenerate into whatever.
Exactly, right?
I mean, he wanted to regenerate into a ginger, for God's sake.
I tell you what, he's had he's had some nice companions over the years. You know what? We got an uncle. I used to think he was like Doctor Who, because every Christmas he'd turn up with a new girlfriend. That's no bullshit.
True story.
That's fucking no bullshit, right? And I'll tell you what happened, right?
Yeah.
We'd rock up to a Christmas party, and another uncle would say, "Who are you?" And the poor girl would go, "Oh, I'm such and such." He'd go, "Oh, cool." And then when they were leaving to go home, he'd go, "Nice to meet you. We won't see you next year." That's no bullshit, because he always had a different companion every Christmas.
Sometimes he had multiple companions.
Sometimes he had more than we used to call them orphans. He'd bring people to Christmas, right? This is my mum's brother. He'd bring people to Christmas,
Shout
right?
out.
Shout out to him. Won't mention the name. And he used to say, mate, mid travel, right? He'd bring somebody up, whoever was hosting Christmas. He'd go, "Oh, you don't mind? I'm bringing an extra friend." But it was always okay, because everyone catered for it. So everyone knew that he'd bring a new girlfriend, and he'd bring an
extra
orphan.
friend.
Yeah, so
And he'd show up like 3 hours late anyway.
and he'd show up about 3 hours late when people were leaving to go home. Christmas is over. Fuck it, we're going. Oh, he's a cracker.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. But every Christmas, and I used to think he was like Doctor Who, because I used to really like Doctor Who. The Tom Baker years were my favourite, but that was my
That was your
era.
jam.
That was my era when I was growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
Right, and they used to play it on ABC every afternoon.
Yeah.
But I used to think he was like the Doctor, because he used to come up with all these
With
different
just
companions.
new companions every
Yeah,
year.
every
Every year.
Every year, new
Yeah.
companion.
See, I only got into...
then you make a mistake because you'd say to him, like as innocent as, you go, whatever happened to such and such? She was so nice. What, you should have met her. And then you'd say to the new girlfriend, oh, you should have met her. She was cool. She used to like driving. She had this car that was cool. And of course, you're telling the new girlfriend about the previous girlfriend, and so you can only imagine what was going through her head. What a cracker! What a fucking what an idiot I was.
Oh my god!
Man, for a fun Boxing Day.
Everything. Yeah, so, I think that's a good example of where, the fluidity of what you put in a new character.
But that's when you have a character who's named Doctor Who.
Yeah,
It seems to be a little bit more open than James Bond.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that is like the title of the movie, James Bond.
So,
and if you do want to do that, then make it a spin-off.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Is this a side character?
Make it a spin-off.
No. Yeah. I think it's legit. Man.
Yeah, I know, but that's what it should be.
It's a separate character that they have their own story. Yeah, it makes sense.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
Yeah.
You talk about Hollywood, you talk about movies, TV shows. Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Doesn't fucking surprise me now. You know what? I'll put money on it very, very fucking soon. Very soon. In a sci-fi series that we love, like Star Trek or some other bullshit.
No, Star Trek's already gone that way.
No. You haven't heard me yet about what I'm about to say. You fucking.
Please don't tell me Picard's going to do things.
No, you haven't heard me yet. Wait till I get it. It'll be a Star Trek. It'll be a Star Wars. It'll be a fucking James Bond. It'll be some movie, a franchise that we love.
Yeah.
And someone's going to come out and go, I'm gender neutral. I'm not a man or a woman. I put fucking money on it. I'll put money on it. It'll be a captain in a fucking new starship.
Can it be Captain Picard?
And it won't be a man and it won't be a woman. That's fucking right. It'll be like that. It'll be an alien. Or they'll disguise it in some way.
Yeah.
They'll put their political bullshit to it. It'll be an alien and they'll just subtly say, oh, that species doesn't have a gender. What's the fucking bet? They've probably already done it, and I'm not aware of it.
But if it's brand spanking new, I don't fucking care.
You know what? I'm so indifferent to the world right now. I don't fucking care. I don't care if the fucking aliens come, the space cockroaches come.
I really want them to.
The space cockroach is going to come and they're going to go, you know
I
what they're going to do?
remembered something.
What?
Area 51.
Oh! Okay. But before we get to that,
yeah.
right, the space cockroaches are going to come and go, right?
Vincent D'Onofrio from Men in Black.
They're going to go
through the mic. It sounds like some really horrific ASMR.
Oh, I've got a good. I've got a good ASMR.
No.
I've got a good. And they're going to come and they're going to say, "Fuck this place."
Yeah.
You know what? And I hope they do. If they nuke it, won't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'll be like that Tool song from fucking Enema about LA, where just wash it all away. Fuck this town. I'm like that. So
I think about that.
Honestly, I remember. I can't remember if it was my sister or my dad was saying, like, after a while, they're like, you know what? Aliens probably did come to Earth, and they probably took one look and went, fuck this place. We are out.
That's what happens when you land in Western Sydney first.
Yeah. I mean, dude, if the aliens came to Roswell and they crashed in Roswell, like in the 60s or whenever it happened, like it's not exactly like, you know, the penultimate of human
Roswell.
civilization in that place.
So to be consistent with our latest advertising scheme, we have to pause very briefly because we're so popular.
Oh, you're going to advertise M&Ms?
We're going to advertise ASMR M&M style, where you'll listen to me crunching my M&Ms.
I would
like
do
the maid
this
lady
too.
does. Like
Okay,
the maid lady.
all right.
Ready?
And just so he has background music.
Rate, comment, and subscribe.
In case you guys have no idea what we're doing, if anyone's watched the lady eating pickles really, really noisily and you enjoyed it,
we're eating M&Ms.
This is for you.
How can you enjoy that? I literally just want to punch people in the
This is what she does. She goes, it's horrible. It's horrible.
See, I'm the guy that sits on the train and hears people eating and I just want to stab them. Mm-hmm. I can't do it. I just want to...
And then you say this, rate, comment, and subscribe. You're cute.
Ring-a-ding-ding!
Right, that's
Nightmares.
That's the end of our fucking advertisement part of our...
What were you even advertising? Peanut
ASMR.
M&Ms?
ASMR M&M style.
M&M ASMR style?
Thank you to our friends at Mars who manufacture M&Ms for not sponsoring this podcast. Yet another company that turns its back on us. You can go and get fucked M&Ms and Mars and Fleshlight, all of you.
Realdolls.com.
Now, you hit me with this one. These fucking idiots that want to storm Area 51. You know what? You know how that's going to end?
Badly.
They're all going to die.
They're all going to die.
You idiots.
They think, oh, they're not going to kill 1.5 million. There is a sign out the very front that says deadly force will be used.
Well, let me put it to you this way.
They won't get far. The first guy will get shot and they'll run away.
Yeah, everyone will freak
Well,
out.
not only that, they'll run out of smashed avocados to eat because they're all fucking lip dicks. Right? You know what's going to happen? They're going to get there.
When's this all
and
going to go down?
they might not get shot, but I guarantee you the fucking jails are going to get full pretty quick.
Yep.
And they're going to get left to rot.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you now, they're idiots because it says very clearly the unauthorized access or whatever it is, blatant force will be used.
Yeah.
You're right.
Deadly force. Deadly.
There'll be one shot fired up in the air as a warning.
Yeah.
Right? And I bet you they all turn tail. Now, let's assume for a second, and what we're talking about, folks, we should clarify this. We're talking about the Facebook group that's saying that they're going to storm Area 51 en masse and get answers.
I can't wait for it to happen.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen? What if let's say they miraculously overrun the most superior security system in the world, which is where Area 51 is.
Yeah, because
They're
you know,
gonna
they're going to keep all the alien stuff on the ground
That's
level, right?
So where are
not
they-
24
so-
levels below ground.
So where are they going to look? They don't even know where they're looking.
Yeah.
They don't even know where they're.
It's
you know
also
what's
like
gonna
50.
happen?
It's also like 150 kilometers wide.
You know what's going to happen? I'll put fucking money on it. One of them's going to twist their ankle. One of them's going to get dehydrated and then go, oh, please help me. Please help me.
Yep.
And you know what I hope happens? The fucking military goes, no, you're on unauthorized fucking land. Go fuck yourself. But I bet it doesn't happen. They'll cave in on that.
Yeah.
But I bet you somebody gets hurt or trips over. And let's say they make it. Let's say they make it to the access pad.
You know what they'll find? Barry, the admin guy who's
Yep.
been there for 30,000 years, punching away some sort of something on a computer,
Yep.
probably thinks Independence
Yep.
Day is real.
But you know how they might get through?
Elevator music.
Because where I used to work, right?
Yeah, I know where you used to work.
You know very well where I used
Yeah,
to work. Well, guess
yeah.
what? They might get through with this little plan. I'll give you a helpful tip, Area 51 fuckers. They want to breach that. I'm helping you out, you smashed avocado fucking ingrates. I'm going to help you out on how you find your aliens, right? Pretend you're delivering eBay parcels to the guards, right? Because where I used to work, I used to get all my eBay delivered there, right? And every day the fucking Chinese Aussie post guy used to rock up and go, I got parcel for Retro Dad again. And mate, they used to let him through
As you
because
do.
they knew who he was and they knew who I was and that was it. So all you got to do, right,
Is get the name of someone that works there.
Exactly. Pretend you're working for someone that's getting an eBay delivery, right? And you rock up, you'll be safe.
Somehow, I don't think that the person who makes an eBay order working at Area 51 is going to have a job.
I'd be bored shitless. You know what? We did a podcast about Bob Lazar. Someone should ask Bob Lazar, would you ever get bored at S4? Right? You get bored out of your brains and just get on the computer one day and order some fucking eBay shit. That's what I would say. That's what I'd ask. You know what I mean? But where are they going to go? What are they looking for? Area 51 is fucking huge. I don't think people realise how big it is. And whereabouts in Area 51 are you looking? Like where Bob Lazar worked was S4.
He's up in
That's
the
where he
mountains somewhere.
said that's where they had a downed spacecraft.
Fucking 30 years
right?
ago as well.
That was exactly 30 years ago. That he was re-engineering. Right? That's where they were deconstructing an alien spacecraft to try and find
Wow.
to get the technology, right?
Yeah.
Well,
No one knows
there's-
A where that is.
Well, exactly. A, where is it? B, how
Yep.
do you get into it?
Yep.
And C, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? And D, what do you hope to achieve? What do you hope to achieve? Are you expecting to knock on the fucking door there at Area 51 or S4 or wherever it is and say we're here to free the alien? We're here to free the alien. What fucking alien?
Look,
you know what I mean? Like you don't
I
even
get
know
the
what you're looking
motive, though.
for.
I get the motive, though, because one of the things, there's two things that I want to see before I die.
Aliens.
I want to know if extraterrestrial life exists, and I want to have evidence of that, whether it's a microbe or otherwise. I want to have evidence of that before I die. and interstellar travel.
Mm-hmm.
So I get where the urge is coming from, because even as a person that has that desire, it's like, I don't want to save an alien. I just want to know if there's one there, so I can go, there is life somewhere. We're not alone in the fucking universe,
Yep.
right?
You know why it won't happen?
But this
this
is not going to be achieved by storming Area 51.
it's just not going to happen.
They're going to
full stop.
achieve nothing. They're not even going to get that far.
They won't get over the
right?
fence.
They won't get
No.
over the fence. If they do get over the fence, someone will shoot a warning shot up in the air, and they'll all run away. Right?
They'll be
If they
met
do
with
get
machine
through
guns.
the fence by force, someone's going to get really hurt. Right? I mean, really hurt. Whether by someone shooting something at them, or they get naturally hurt by falling over or stampede or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then what do you want to achieve? How do you think? What are you going to look for? You don't even know where you're going. But you want to know what I want to know before I die? I want to know what love is. Want you to show me.
I could segue into something sad with that.
Yeah. Can we do it?
Well, you kind of knew what love was, Daniel.
And then I lost it.
Yep.
I lost it, man.
Yeah.
I lost it, man. I lost it. I had it, and I lost it. And you know what?
And it
This
was
goes to
beautiful.
This goes to show that no one wants to be with me.
Jesus.
Because even my cat didn't want to be with me anymore, and he fucking snuffed it.
He didn't have a choice.
It's not exactly one of those things.
He did have a choice.
He didn't have a choice.
He did have a choice. He just said, fuck this prick. He actually, you know what? He saw the Titanic. He saw the end was coming and went, I'm not going to the farm. Because I used to say, I told you, I'd set it up with Lucky Lisa, right? That if I snuffed it, he'd go to the farm. And I always had the dream that what would happen is I'd collapse, and they'd find me sprawled out in the kitchen or something, and he'd be eating my face. Because I hadn't fed him for a couple of days, right? But that didn't happen.
Which you probably would.
No, that didn't happen. So, yeah, he died very suddenly. And what happened was...
I mean, do the guys know who we're talking about?
the cat. The
Claude.
smelly cat. Claude the smelly cat. Claude the smelly cat.
Sweet, smelly cat
He,
that is
he,
Claude.
he died, man.
Yeah.
He was only probably about a little over 18 months old, so very young.
Yeah, baby.
Ridiculously young.
Yeah.
He would have been 2 years old in September.
Yeah.
And so he's been gone. This is why I can talk about it now. He's probably been gone about 2 months. Mm-hmm. And so he died very suddenly. Like, I mean, I woke up really early in the morning, and I went downstairs to feed him, and he was his usual fuck knuckle self, right? And
His usual
he was a fucking idiot, especially when he was hungry and he wanted food.
Yeah.
But this is where it's really sad, is that I'd always wake up, open the bedroom door, and he'd be standing there, waiting for me.
Yeah.
Even if I went upstairs and had a shower, he'd always be standing there waiting for me, right? And I went downstairs, and he was following me downstairs like a dog. He always followed me everywhere I went. He followed me everywhere I went.
Yeah.
He always followed me everywhere. And I got the food. I actually went to the cupboard and the food wasn't there. And the fridge, sorry. And I'd used up all of his food. So I said to him, all right, let's go to the cupboard and get some food. And he knew where that was.
Yeah.
That's how smart he was.
Yeah.
And he followed me to the cupboard, and I opened up the cupboard door and I got food for him. And I started putting the food out onto his plate, or his dish, and he was woofing it down like you wouldn't believe. So I knew he wasn't sick.
Yeah.
Right? And I also knew he wasn't sick, at least visibly sick, because I went and looked at his kitty litter. I did that every morning to see if he'd been to the litter overnight, and he had. And I'd used a poop scoop, got rid of that. So I knew, because with cats, if something's really wrong, it's usually they've either not gone to the litter, or if they've been to the litter, you see something, and there wasn't anything there.
And they're not eating.
Or they're not eating, right? So he was doing all of that, and he was drinking too.
Yeah.
So I went upstairs, and I had a shower, and while I was in the shower, I heard this massive bang out the front of my door, like the front door, a massive bang. And I was trying to work out what the fuck it was, because, I mean, that's a long way from the front door, my shower.
Long.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell was that? And I worked it out that what it was that, ironically, it was his food cat delivery. His cat food delivery. And so I'd ordered that online.
Yeah.
And what I think had happened was the delivery guy had picked up had dropped the boxes. These were big boxes because I'd ordered a lot of food. And I'd put them, and he's dropped them, and it's gone up against the door frame.
Yeah.
And what he always used to do, he was like better than the doorbell. He could hear something coming the front
Yeah,
to
cats
the front
always do that.
door, and he'd get on the first step of the stairwell there, and he looked out through the stained glass.
Yeah.
And he's obviously looking for what it was, and he couldn't see it. And then I think what's happened is he was right by the door when the bang occurred, but because he couldn't see it, he couldn't run away from it. And I think he just got frightened to death. Really, I really do think that. And I Googled a lot of things well after the event.
Yeah.
And I spoke to the vet, and what they're basically saying was that it's more than likely that he had a major congenital heart problem.
Yeah.
Which
In that breed, it's pretty common.
Again, more Googling, more research, and talking to the vet.
Yeah.
It's actually quite common in that breed.
Yeah.
Where they hide their symptoms really well. Cats don't want to show that they're sick, or they don't even. You can't really tell they're sick at all because any kind of weakness, they feel they're easy bait for predators.
Yeah.
So he wasn't sick at all. In fact, I'd taken him to the vet maybe 6 weeks before that for a vaccination, and the vet had said, no, he's good. He's probably needs to lose a bit of weight. He's a bit overweight, maybe a kilo overweight. But apart from that, he's fine. But they obviously don't know. They couldn't tell that he had a heart problem. And from more reading, it seems like if he had lived a bit longer, that the heart problem would have reared its ugly head, and it would have been visible. And then you would have seen major symptoms with him.
Yeah.
And then you would have had him at the vet on major medication to try and fix it. But from what I've read,
there's nothing you can
there's
do.
not much they can do, right?
Poor
So he died well before his time.
Yeah.
But he died definitely suddenly because he hadn't moved near the door. He was right near the door. So when I had my shower and came downstairs, as I was going downstairs, I knew something wasn't right. It's weird when you get this weird feeling, like it's like.
Ring a ding ding, baby.
So
Speaking of,
inappropriate.
right. It's a weird feeling.
But you go down the stairs, and I could feel something wasn't right. It was just like a weird feeling. And then as I got further down the stairs, I could see that he was lying by the door, and I thought that's really odd because he never sleeps there.
Yeah.
And then as I got closer and closer, I went, "Oh, this is really odd," because he always jumps up to see me. And then I was hoping in the back of my mind at that point that at like best he's passed out.
Yeah.
Which was not a good day for me because I knew I was going to go to the vet.
Yeah.
That was what I thought was going to happen. And as I got closer and closer, and he was not reacting to me coming towards him, I knew something really bad was going on. But I still had it in the back of my mind, he's passed out.
Yeah.
Something's not right with him. He's passed out, and I'm going to have to pick him up and drive him now to an emergency vet.
Yeah.
Or the vet when it opens that I go to, which wasn't far from where I live, and because something's not right with him. But then when I got to him and I touched him, then I knew he was dead because he was cold. And he had that limp, his body was all limp. And then I knew he was 100% not right, or he was it. It's still in the back of my mind. I'm like, oh, he's passed out.
Yeah.
In my mind,
yeah.
right? But then I touched his paw, and I squeezed his paw to make his nails come out.
Yeah.
And I knew he was at least unconscious.
Yeah.
But then I knew he was dead when I touched his paw because it was cold, like stone cold.
Yeah.
And I never could touch his paws because I couldn't clip his
claws,
toenails,
yeah.
his claws.
Yeah.
I had to take him into the vet to get that done. That's how crazy he used to be, right?
Yeah.
And so then 100% I knew he was dead when I somehow leaned across to look at his face, and his eyes were wide open and they were like glassy, and the pupils were dilated and his tongue was hanging out. And I'm like, oh, fuck, right? And then I'm shaking him, and I'm sort of saying his name, and I'm shaking him, and no response. And it's the first time in my life that I've owned a pet that died, that I've had to deal with.
Yeah.
As kids, we had dogs that died, all that sort of shit. And no response, nothing there. And I went, fuck, what am I going to do? Fuck, right? And so the thing that I'll say about him is that he was always, I mean, I remember when I used to send photos to you, and I used to send photos to Lucky Lisa. He was always this kind of majestic looking cat. Like
Yeah.
he fucking knew he was pedigree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he knew,
Yeah.
right? He was never dirty. He
Yeah.
never vomited. He was never covered in shit. A couple of times when he was younger, he had shit on his ass that he didn't realize he had it, and he used to smear it on me.
Yeah.
But he knew he was an arrogant little fuck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And in death, he still had that majestic look about him because there was no vomit, there was no blood, he hadn't lost his bowel or he's a bladder yet, so there was no piss or shit. And it was unbelievable. And that's why I knew that because Jason might have said to me the day after the fact, well, was he poisoned? Because I'd started letting him out the back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he was going insane being inside all the time.
Yeah.
But he was a funny cat. He liked to go to a certain point out the back, but not go any further.
Yeah.
And I only have a small courtyard anyway.
Yeah.
And he was not a climber, so he would never climb a fence. He didn't know how to.
Yeah.
He'd just sort of like lay out in the sun and he'd look around his kingdom.
Yeah.
And he'd do like a little boundary patrol every morning and go, okay, everything's where it should be.
Yeah.
And he'd just stay out there. But when he had his time out there and he was done, he'd claw the door and want to be let in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that was it for him. He'd be out there maybe half an hour for the day. The rest of the time he was inside. And that was our little routine. And, but yeah, I knew he wasn't baited or anything like that because there was no
Yeah.
evidence of it. But it was just so bizarre that 1 minute he was perfectly fine. And in fact, I remember the last thing I kind of said to him was, he always used to follow me everywhere, like I said, but when I was trying to get ready for it, ready to go out or do something, he was kind of a bit annoying because I'd go back upstairs to have a shower and he'd run after me and he'd dive into my bedroom.
Yeah.
And he did, right? And so what happened was he followed me, went between my legs, went straight underneath the bed,
Yeah.
right? And I went, fuck, man, Claude, come on, I don't have time today for this bullshit. I've got shit to do, you know? And he's like, whatever he used to do, and he used to carry on. I'm like, oh, no, man, come on. And I ended up tricking him into going outside, and then he knew, and he was so smart, he knew, and I said, he stood on top of the stairs. I said, go eat your food. Go eat your food. And I pointed down the go eat your food.
Yeah.
And he just ran downstairs, and I could hear him, he was eating his food again.
Yeah.
And I went, all right. And then, like I said, I went and had a shower, heard the bang, and then the next time I saw him, he wasn't there anymore. So, yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time, after the fact. I've never been more upset about anything.
Yeah.
And because he had been with me through some pretty, sad
Tough times. Yeah.
And I needed him
Yeah.
as my crutch, and I still need him.
Yeah.
And he's gone, man. And I'm done. I'm never going to get another pet as long as I live. I don't fucking care. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to get goldfish. I'm never going through that again. That was the most horrific experience
Yeah.
I've ever been through with an animal.
Yeah.
And never again. I will never own another pet as long as I live. And
People, I think, don't realize like how good cats are. They have this.
They get a
stigma.
bad rap,
They get such a bad rap,
Yeah.
and it annoys me so much because you ask a cat person, like I'm generally a cat person. I've always had cats, and like I'm nothing against dogs. Dogs are adorable. Like Charlie upstairs who just
I always
howls.
preferred dogs,
Yeah,
but where I live,
Yeah.
cats were a lot easier. Like I could be here all day.
Yeah.
Right, and then I could go back down to my place, and he was cool. As
Yeah,
long as he had some water and a little bit of food,
Yeah.
the fucker didn't give a shit if I
Yeah.
was home or not.
Yeah.
After a while, he'd get lonely and he'd be looking for me.
Yeah.
But other than that, he'd be good. And whenever I got home, he'd always be sitting on that same stair that fucking killed him in the end, right, waiting for me, and I'd open the door and he'd just wait there for me, right?
Yeah.
But
I know
now,
my cat does the exact same thing because I have the same breed as Claude. And as soon as I get home through the door, she is there.
Yeah, she's there,
Misha's there waiting, going, like, hey, how's your day? Like, what have you been up to? Like, and it gets my goat because so many dog lovers are like just so anti-cat. Like, you just say, oh, no, cat's the worst, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, they're actually really freaking cool.
he was very affectionate to me, but
Yeah.
with a lot of people that he didn't know, he was weird.
Yeah.
Like he was very flighty. He'd run away from them.
Yeah.
And people used to get frustrated with him.
Yeah, but
they,
so many dogs would be like that as well.
But people
like,
wanted, because he was so, he was a very good looking cat.
Yeah.
And I mean, he'd want to be, the money I paid for the fuck. But the fact is that people wanted to naturally go up and pat him,
Yeah.
but he wasn't always keen on that. And I used to say to him, look, just wait until he comes to you, then you will be fine.
Yeah.
Right? And then after a half an hour of maybe him seeing me with somebody else, they go, okay, that person's cool. I'll come to you.
Yeah.
Right? And he used to come over to him and get as much affection off them as he did with me. But with me, I mean, there'd be so many times I'd be sitting there and he'd just come up and crawl up and lie on my stomach.
Yeah.
And then he'd just gently pat my cheek.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he had a lot of power in those paws. He could have fucking ripped me apart.
Yeah.
You know, like, he was staring up in my eyes. He could have swiped my eyes out, man.
Yeah.
Like, but he had a lot of trust with me and I had a lot of trust with him.
Yeah.
And he'd just gently do this on my face.
Yeah.
With his paw, like a little pat.
I think people expect, like with cats, they just go, oh, because I love you, you've got to love me back. Well, actually, cats are actually very similar to people. Like, I'm sorry, the first time you meet someone, are you going to go and like, be like, hey, how you going? I'm going to hug you. Like, you'd be like, you fucking weirdo.
That's
Get
right.
off me. Like,
That's
don't
right.
fucking touch me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas, and, but dogs, I feel like dogs are this, they're just eternal toddlers.
Yeah.
Like, they're forever stuck as 3 to 4 year olds
Yeah.
where they're just like, yeah, love me. Like, there was a comedian who was like, you know, I don't care for that kind of energy in my house. And I'm like, I agree with you. Like, I don't need you to be like so intense to me, to my
but
face
you know what
every day.
the sad thing about it all is that the day before he died, is that we were having a lovely day out there. It was a beautiful day, and I was lying in the backyard on my little couchy thing.
Yeah.
And he was having a wonderful time in the garden. He was running in the garden, and then he'd run up to me, give me a kiss. Then he'd run back in the garden, and he'd check that where I was, you know.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got up to go in the house, he'd come into the house with me.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself at that point, you know what? He's become the cat I wanted when I first got him.
Yeah.
Because he started to get to that real mellow. Like, he was still an idiot because he was still young.
Yeah.
But he was getting
Claude.
it was but he was going he was getting mellow, like he'd just like chill out.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time he'd just be relaxed.
Yeah.
He never once, I can tell you how many times that the niece and nephew would fucking pick him up in the most weird, awkward angles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's going to fuck this kid up. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, he's going to scar this kid for life, literally. And she's going to be frightened of cats forever. But no, he just like lay there, like limp and do whatever you got to do. And
Yeah,
as long
yeah,
as-
get it out of your
And then
system.
once he had enough, I'd say to the niece, he's had enough.
Yeah.
You know? And he'd walk off and just go into his little hole thing that I'd bought for him, his little cane basket thing.
Yeah.
And that was it, you know. And he got to that point where he was getting old enough and ugly enough to like look after himself most of the time. He didn't need to be supervised, really. And when people were around, he was fucking cool. You know, like he was like,
Yeah, I remember when I came over and he was ransacking my handbag.
yeah, he did that with everybody.
Yeah, he was like, he'd look at me and he's like, yeah, I'm going through your shit.
Yeah, I'm going through your
watch
shit.
me.
Yeah.
Watch me.
Yeah. He was, you know what? He was hyper intelligent. I've never met an animal as smart as him. He was so fucking smart.
Yeah.
He knew everything. He knew the routines. He knew where things were located in the house.
Yeah.
Right? He knew where places he didn't like to go.
Yeah.
And he knew where I was. Right? So if I let him at the back, he knew where to look through and he knew how far to go.
Yep.
And I think, you know what? I think it's weird. When I first got him, I think he would have only been maybe... I got him at 12 weeks because the breeder wouldn't let him go until he got to 12 weeks old. I probably would have had him for a month, so he was really little. But what happened was he was always he was always pushing the edge, and he used like a lot of his lives very early on. And he put his head through like
You've told me this story. I remember this.
the dining chairs that I've got at home.
Yeah.
He put his head through like the slats of the back of the
Yeah,
chairs.
yeah.
And he got his head fucking stuck, right? And I mean, serious, right? And so at first I thought, well, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But then he was reversing, and as he was reversing, he was like scuffing up the fabric, and I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
But then it became more from a joke to being like serious when he was choking to death. He was choking, right? And I'm like, fuck. And he couldn't figure out what to do because what he had to do was the slats were kind of like wide at the top but narrow
you just
in the
need
bottom.
to lift up his head more.
But he couldn't lift up high enough.
Yeah.
And so I had to come and get him and lift him up and so he could get his head back through. And that was one time when I thought, fuck, I think he might be in real trouble, right? because he went in the shock. And he walked off and he looked over his shoulder at me and I went, "Are you all right? Claude, are you okay?" And he wouldn't do shit. And he went into like his little, when he was a kitten, he had like a little hole, like a little cubey, little
wicker
basket thing. He went into that and didn't move for like a day. And I went, something's not right with him.
Yeah.
Like he's really panicking.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, when I look back at things, hindsight's a wonderful thing. There were definite signs he had, I'd say, a pretty big problem with his health.
Yeah.
Because he'd get this syndrome of being scared of loud noises.
Yeah.
So there was a real, last summer we had, so back January, December last year, we had a really loud thunderstorm. And there was a lightning strike quite close to where I live. Like where you get like the lightning and then the clap.
Yeah,
like like that sort of noise. And he got so frightened he wet himself and wet inside the house, and he never did that, right? I have to say, even though I yelled at him for missing the kitty litter because his ass was too fat, he actually did get in the kitty litter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But this is one time he didn't make it to the litter. He got so frightened, he lost his bladder and he ran in the house.
Yeah.
And I went, fuck, okay. And ever since then, any loud noise, he got really scared. And when I had the Shower King renovating the bathroom, when I had that big shower leak, I had to hold him because he was losing his mind of the noise where they were drilling the tiles off the wall and all that sort of stuff and making those noises. And so what I think probably happened was that he heard a really loud noise, and because I wasn't there, he panicked.
Yeah.
And he obviously had a serious heart problem, and he went killed over. And I remember I rang the vet and said, "Look, this has happened. Take him off your records," because they always had records that they'd send out saying, "Oh, you can, put him in for his vaccinations, put him in for this, put him in for that."
Yeah.
I said, "You might as well take him off because he's died." And they're like, "How'd that happen?" And I had a conversation with them, and they said, "Yeah, it sounds like he had something really wrong with him." But that's also happened to a number of our staff's vets here.
Yeah.
Like the people that work in that vet centre.
Yeah.
A lot of their cats have just gone. Like 1 minute they're fine, next minute they're fucked, they're dead. And I did some Googling on it, and it's more common than you actually think.
Yeah.
And so, I donated all of the cat food to the vet, and that's it. I'm done. I'm fucking done. The vet said, "Oh, do you want to think about this? Do you want to think about getting a rescue?" No, I don't fucking want it.
Yeah.
Because that experience that I had when I went to the breeder, and the breeder was a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Me and Lucky Lisa went, because Lucky Lisa's a crazy cat person as well. And she wanted so desperately for me to come and pick up the cat with me. Yeah. And we bought all these toys at a fucking pet barn. Yeah. And I'm like, kill me, right? But she was buying fucking little pet fishies and all this shit for him. Yeah. And so, we went to the breeder and we basically picked him up, and that experience in itself is what I wanted, and I'll never get that again. I'm not going through it again. I'm done. I'm fucking done. Yeah. And so when I buried him with all of his toys.
Oh.
That Dad came over, and as I told you in the car coming up here, unfortunately, Mum and Dad have had many dogs that have died, and they've buried many fucking pets. Yeah. And Dad said, "You can't just bury him like this. You got to bury him deep. Like the rats will get him." Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh fuck." And then he said, "Well, let me wrap him up in a blanket," which we did. And then he said, "Oh, is there anything you want to bury him with?" And I said, "Oh, all of his toys. I buried him with all of his toys, and that's it. Done. I'm fucking done." But I still don't have the heart to either put out on the council strip or give to somebody his favourite things that he had, like his little wicker basket hole thing he used to sleep in. Yeah. His scratching post. Yeah. I got rid of his little cardboard bed he used to sleep on, which was a scratching post as well, but I just chucked that was ruined. But these major things that I bought at the pet barn with Lucky Lisa on that day when I first picked him up, I haven't got the heart to throw them out.
Well, but if you want to donate them so his little memory lives on.
Do you want them?
Misha
I'll give them to you now. I'll give them to you when on the way home. Yeah, I will. Because I'm done. I'm fucking done. Yeah. I don't. To me, you know what? I look at the bigger picture. Yeah. There's a reason for it. There's a fucking reason for it. I'm telling you now, there's a fucking reason for it. He's probably said, "You're fucking done, mate. You're fucking..." I'm getting teary. Oh, you're fucking done. That's it. No more. No more cats. I'm fucking done.
Oh.
I'm done.
Oh.
I'm not doing it
Rest
again.
in peace. Rest
I'm
in
fucking
peace,
done.
sweet Claude. He was a good cat. I was fortunate enough to meet
No more.
little fluffy Claude when he ransacked my handbag and he tried to eat my keys. And I saw him
I'll tell you a story.
pawing the little lip gloss as
No,
well.
I'll tell you a story. One
Yeah.
of my mates came over one day and he left his keys on the coffee table. He came up, picked them up, and scooped them in his mouth and ran off with them. That's what he was like.
He's a cheeky little bugger.
He was a funny. But you know what? He did it
Yeah.
because he knew you'd either get attention off him,
Yep.
right, or
Yeah.
he could sense that you were leaving.
Yeah.
So whenever I left the house, he
Yeah.
associated keys with leaving.
Yeah.
That's how smart he was.
Yeah.
Because I used to pick my keys up and sit on my stairs to put my shoes on.
Yeah.
And he used to come up.
Yeah.
And he'd lie next to me and paw me, going, "Please don't leave, please don't leave."
Yeah.
And he knew keys were a sign that you're going. That's how smart he was.
Yeah.
So whenever he saw keys, whether it was my keys, someone else's keys, he's like, "No, you're not leaving."
I do admit that breed, like the breed of cat that we have, is British short hair.
Pretty short hair, yeah.
And,
Cheshire cat.
And the Cheshire cat from Alice in Wonderland. And they are very, very good cats.
Yeah, they
I
are.
mean, they have
But
a
they've got-
wonderful temperament.
Yeah.
But they've got it's not just that they're all
But you know-
placid, they've got the cheekiness
Yeah,
in them.
but you know they are also highly aggressive on the breed scale because I did the research. If they feel that they're being threatened or their owners are being threatened or their house is threatened in any way,
Yeah.
they're hyper aggressive.
Really?
Yeah, I've read that.
Wow.
Like, I mean, really, they will fight big fucking time. And I don't know if you've ever YouTubed angry British Shorthairs.
No.
They're intimidating because they're a
Really?
big breed.
They're big.
They're a
They're
big
big,
cat,
stocky
right?
cat, yeah.
They're a big stocky cat, and when they're really
And
riled
they can
up,
pack a punch.
oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. When he used to lie on my stomach and he used to paw me like this,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, man, he can do me some serious damage, but he's choosing not to.
Yeah.
He knows how to touch me gently.
Yeah.
That's how smart he was.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a cat do that, and
Yeah.
that's why I'll never get another one again, because that will never happen again. I'll never fucking get another cat ever again that's like him. Never. I'm fucking done. And I've got to wrap this podcast up because I'm getting fucking emotional.
All right.
Have you got anything
Lo-
else to say about cats?
No, other than they're just fucking amazing animals. And if you haven't, genuinely given the little bastards a try, just understand dogs are like 3 to 4 year olds for their whole life. Cats are
You
kind
can't
of
leave a
like
cat-
cats are kind
yeah.
of like sullen teenagers.
Yep.
You can leave them alone for
I could leave him-
extended periods
I
of
could
time.
leave him. I could tell you now. There were points when I was saying to him, "I'll come up and do a podcast and stay overnight.
Yeah.
As long as I have the auto feeder on, he's fine.
Yeah.
But that's how smart the little prick was.
They
Can I tell you
know.
how smart he was?
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I'll leave you with a couple of fucking classic Claude stories.
Yeah.
Right. He knew the sound of the auto feeder
Yeah.
so fucking well that the auto feeder would make a clunk noise when it first rotated the turntable
Yeah.
where the cat food was. He'd fucking jump up wherever he was and run straight to the kitchen where the auto feeder was.
Yeah.
Well, one day I didn't realise that I'd filled the auto feeder up,
Yeah.
but I didn't realise it was on because I couldn't work out. It wasn't a very good auto feeder. If you want it, you can have it. Mm-hmm. You can time when you want it to go, but it's like increments of 8-12 hours. But I'd always fuck it up.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I couldn't work out. One day I woke up and the auto feeder's empty, and I thought, you know me with my memory, I filled that up.
Yeah.
The little prick's eating the auto feeder plus what I gave him in one day. Right? And he used to stand on the auto feeder and meow and go, demand more food. He was the biggest glutton. He was a fucking beast.
Wow.
He ate so much food and he
Yeah.
wanted more food. Right?
Fat
Yeah.
fuck.
You know?
Yeah.
The other one was I used to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
And you know my place in the laundry, there's a toilet near the laundry.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I think, fuck it, I'll just leave the door open. It's just me, and
Yeah.
I'll do an open door urination.
Yeah.
Right. Well, if I thought he was asleep, one little noise, he'd wake up and follow me into the toilet and see what was going on. So he used to walk in and see what was going on, and you walk underneath my legs, underneath the stream of the piss.
Oh,
But one day he jumped up on the toilet to have a look, and I pissed on his head. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm getting
All
emotional.
right. That was a good one.
That was a good one. Thank you, Sassy Suhini, for being here and going down memory lane. I did get emotional. I can't. I can't talk about cats, man. You know what? I can't even see the Lion King, the new one.
Yeah.
Because every time I look at lions, I get
Think
I
of
just
your little
It's a
Claude.
fucking cat, man.
Yeah.
And I love that cat more than anything else. And I'm done. I'm fucking done. I'll never, ever, ever get a pet as long as I live. I will never get a pet. Never, never. I'm fucking done. I don't care what anyone says. I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
No, never. Done. And I didn't even say on the podcast what the real fucking story happened, where the other thing, the voodoo came into it.
Oh yeah,
juju.
The juju. Maybe for another
Another
time.
I can't even. That's another bit
time.
of juju.
It's another time. All right.
That was tough.
We did warn people it would be an emotional podcast.
That was tough. I can't do
you
this
know.
anymore.
Yep. It's tough losing a friend.
Thank you. Blah, blah, blah. Give me those M&Ms. I'll do ASMR again.
Oh, fuck. Should have turned the mic up so I was real ASMR.
Oh yeah.
That's fucking horrific.
Leave it. Thank you, Sassy Suhini, for being part of the show.
You're so welcome.
Thank you, Jason Relaxation, for being a part of the show. Take over changing.
Thank you, M&M's, for being a part of the show.
Thank you, M&M's, for not sponsoring this bullshit podcast. Thank you for the 2 people that are listening. Thank you, Mum, for letting us use your basement.
Thanks for having me, guys.
I'm sorry I ranted about cats. But I miss my little boy. A beautiful little animal that died gracefully. And I ain't had him for about 18 months. It's a rabbit hole I can't get out of. It's something I need to improve in my fucking bullshit life. And now I haven't even got a cat that can help me improve. He's going to help me piss straight. He used to be my guide. If I didn't piss on his head, I was pissing in the toilet bowl.
Oh, rest in peace, Claudie.
Is it back up to normal?
Yep.
Because I feel unnatural whispering like that.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on. And you know what, you little smashed avocado eating ingrates that don't like cats, you know what you can do? You can wait till next week when we'll talk about more Richardom and more bullshit. But until then, you are all my guys!